Hey, what's up guys, this is Corvo with TGN, and today we're going to be taking a look back to my leveling slash PvP build video that I posted about a month ago. Now, the reason why we're going to be taking a look back at it is because when I partnered my channel with TGN, I had to set a couple of my videos, including that one, to private due to some copyright issues. But that aside, I got a lot of feedback with that video saying that it helped you guys out a lot, and I don't want anybody to miss out on that video because I had to set it to private. So I took my level 50 Spellslinger and I set the abilities and ability tiers back to what it was when I was level 30. And yeah, I'm going to be going over the abilities and the ability tiers and the amps that I used back then at level 30 while I was leveling. What this build is going to be focusing on is very high burst potential and decent utility and somewhat decent survivability. So let's just jump right into it. I'm going to jump into the abilities first. I do have them already set to what I had them at when I was level 30. Actually, I had one more point. There we go. First ability we use is Quick Draw. We have Quick Draw here. And I have it at tier 3 just because I had some extra points after I got these two major tiers. Quick Draw, basic attack, you guys should know what Quick Draw does. Second ability we're using is Charge Shot. Now, when you're leveling up, Charge Shot is basically crap until you get to level 25 and unlock the first major tier at tier 4. So I'm going to explain what tier 4 does with Charge Shot for those of you that don't know. With tier 4 Charge Shot, I'm going to keep the tooltip up there so you can read it if you wish, but what tier 4 does is, number one, it allows you to cast this ability while you're moving. So that's the big upper for tier 4 with this ability. It also, increases the damage a little bit through the ability tiers, and it also expands the telegraph by 1 meter. So it expands the telegraph a little bit, so it's easier to land. You can get a couple more enemies in the telegraph with it. All around great ability. Probably my favorite ability so far. But yeah, second assault ability I have here is Flame Burst, and I have Flame Burst in tier 1. Just because it was an extra point and I just happened to put it there. What's cool about Flame Burst is, number one, it is off the global cooldown, meaning you can use it either at the same time as another ability or immediately after. So you can fire off a Charge Shot followed by a Flame Burst. You can fire off a Surge Assassinate followed by a Flame Burst. Whatever. It's off the global cooldown, great ability, does pretty decent damage. And it's a procced ability, so it's usable after landing a crit. So I do suggest you guys pick up an add-on, either the add-on that I'm using. You can see it over here. It's showing my assassinate charges. It's called Procs HUD, and I'll leave a link in the description to that on Curse. It's also showing right now my assassinate ability charges, and it works for other classes as well. Like when I'm playing my warrior, it'll proc up when breaching strikes is available and such. But the other add-on that you can use, I've heard Aura Mastery is good. But yeah, I haven't used Aura Mastery. But yeah, Procs HUD is really good for Flame Burst, so when you land a crit, the Flame Burst icon will pop up, letting you know that it's ready to go. So the final assault ability that I'm using is Assassinate. Now, you guys should know what Assassinate does. Every Spellslinger loves Assassinate, and every other class hates Assassinate because they're getting hit by it. Assassinate does really great damage. It's a single target ability, meaning it only, single target, only one target, so it doesn't pierce through like Charge Shot and stuff. So it does take a little bit of an effort to land on the correct target. Sometimes people will get in the way and eat it and stuff, which can be a pain. But all around great ability. Now the way that Assassinate works is it does pretty mediocre damage, and if it's not spell surged and you're not hitting a enemy that has 30% or below health. Like you can see in the tooltip right here, 2700 physical damage and to enemies that are below 30% health, they take 5k damage, 5.1k damage. And when it's spell surged, it does the same 5.1k damage. So whenever you're using Assassinate, either one, your target has to be below 30% health, or you have to have it spell surged. Otherwise, don't use this ability. You will waste it, and it will be crap damage, and it won't be any good. So yeah, let's move on to utility. The utility abilities I'm using right now, they're all based here, so they're pretty simple. Gate, you guys should know what Gate does. It's your blink forward, and it stuns anyone in your path for 3.25 seconds, and destroys one interrupt armor if they have interrupt armor. All around great ability, has that movement component to it if you want to use it that way. It's very good for peeling and setting up kills. Yeah, really good ability. Next one is Flash Freeze that I'm using. Now Flash Freeze is going to be your main peel or main setup ability. It's a AoE 4-second root that does a little bit of damage, and you can apply this root to five enemies at maximum. So this ability is great for setting up kills and controlling your targets, so you won't miss your assassinates or your charge shots or flame bursts or anything. You should be able to, if you have your target rooted, you should not miss at all. If you miss, it's your fault. Next ability I'm using, and everyone should have this on your bar, is Void Slip. This is your CC breaker. And it also, as you should know, it transitions you into the void. Now, I'll show this off real quick. Yeah, use set. Sorry, I'll use Void Slip real quick. Transports you into another dimension. Everything is gold and pretty in here, and yeah, you can basically do everything you can normally inside the void. And the only enemies or something that you'll see inside the void is another Spellslinger if they use Void Slip at the same time, or around the same time as you. So you're not completely safe when you go into the void. Another Spellslinger can chase you in there, and they can kill you, and you can do the same thing to them. And it's probably one of the most rewarding feelings when you chase another Spellslinger into the void and kill them inside the void. It's totally awesome, very fun. And so yeah, let's move on. The next ability I'm using, now this final ability, I guess you guys can switch it around to whatever you want. But personally, what I'm using is Runes of Protection, which is a absorb shield on a pretty decently short cooldown. It's on a 15-second cooldown, and you want to use this ability only use it spell surge. I mean, if you don't have spell surge and you really need to get that absorb shield off, yeah, you can use it without it, but it's much more beneficial to use Runes of Protection while it's spell surge. So as you can see on the tooltip, 3k absorb shield when it's not spell surge, and a 5.5k absorb shield when it is spell surge. So that helps out a lot. In PvP, gives you a little bit more survivability, and it lets you keep some more uptime going between mob to mob while you're leveling or doing dailies at 50, whatever. This is probably this is the ability that I like to use. I mean, I see a lot of people using Vitality Burst or Astral Infusion and things like that for their survivability. Also, another good one to use is Phase Shift, or if you're running dungeons and stuff like that, Arcane Shock and Spatial Shift is really good, because those are both more interrupts on your bar that you can use on bosses. So give those two a look while you're in a PvE situation, as like an adventure or a dungeon, because you should be able to, your healer should be able to keep up with the healing, and you want to be interrupting when interrupts need to be shut off. So when you have Arcane Shock, Spatial Shift, and Gate, all three of those on your bar, that's 3 available interrupts for you to use. Really good. So yeah, those are the abilities. Now I'm gonna go over the amps real quick. Now these amps that you're seeing right now, I'm too poor right now. I'm really poor. I didn't have enough gold to do a full amp reset to show you guys one by one, but I do have the amp setup that I had in the previous video, and I'll go over it for you in a sec. Now, this amp setup that I have is not optimal, guys. Unfortunately, probably like a lot of you, I don't have trigger fingers and I don't have power surge still. Bummer, but whatever. That's not what this video is going to be about. So let's go over this. Like I said, this is not optimal. A lot of these amps that I have are just extra amp points that I would have used for trigger fingers or power surge that I just didn't exactly know what I should put in, and I just put them in willy-nilly, like these over here, the dash regen and the reorient. That just, you know, gets you moving around a little bit more. But let's go over these. So what I'm using right now is I'm using in the assault tree first. I'm using assault power all the way up, which every DPS spellslinger should. I have strike through up, so I get less deflect chance, and I just put armor pierce in because I didn't know what else I should put them in. Now the next tier I have, in the previous video I had critical surge and I had deadly chain. Now, Deadly Chain, I'm just going to go over a brief overview of these amps. I'm not going to explain too in depth. If you want to check them out, you can pull up your own action set and read them off. But what Deadly Chain does is it basically gives you a stacking buff for magic and physical damage. And Critical Surge is whenever you crit, you land whenever you land a crit, you get 6 spell power back, and that's on a 6-second internal cooldown, so you can do that every 6 seconds. Now, the other ability I'm using, I didn't use this because I didn't have it at level 30, but I am using Withering Magic, which whenever you hit with a Spell Surge ability, it puts a debuff on your target that lowers their magic resistance, so you get some bigger numbers out of Charge Shot, because if you didn't know, Charge Shot is magic damage. So that's really good, and the next ability that I had is Assassinate. Now, you want to open up Assassinate as soon as possible. To do that, you want to have at least 2, you have to unlock tier 2, and you have to have, I believe, at least 2 points in your tier 2 tree to unlock Assassinate. So, the other ability I'm using right now, I didn't have it at level 30, but the other one I'm using is Surge Damage, which is really good. It increases all your damage dealt by 10% after using a Spell Surge ability. Now, the other amps that I'm using are more stats amps. I'm using Critical Hit Severity, all 3 of them here in the Hybrid Assault Utility, Hybrid Assault Support tree, excuse me. And the other one is Crit Hit Chance, all the way up. Get more crits. The other one I would suggest doing that helps out a lot is the cooldown reduction. You might not need this once you get Trigger Fingers, because Trigger Fingers lowers your cooldowns whenever you use Quick Draw, but right now I don't have that, so I'm using the cooldowns to get some cooldown reduction out of it. So those are the amps, guys. So the next thing I'm going to go into is I'm actually going to play the same clips that I had in the previous video when I was level 30, 29-ish, whatever it was, doing a demonstration of how I use this build in a leveling situation, and a couple of clips showing off some PvE or PvP stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope this helps out in some way, and if it did, tell me and give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'm going to be doing some more giveaways in the future, and I also have a video, I'll leave an annotation up there. I'm doing another guest pass giveaway, so if you guys haven't picked this game up yet, or if you guys have a friend that's been wanting to play, then they haven't had the chance to and they want to try it out, and you just happen to have no guest passes left, you guys can go check this video out and enter for a chance to win another guest pass. I am going to be giving away a keyboard here soon, so yeah, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good day. This was Corvoh. Alright guys, so in these clips, I'm going to show you just this rotation, as it were, on a couple of quest mobs, so I'm going to go over this pretty quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to charge up a charge shot, followed quickly by a flash freeze to hold my opponents in place, and then I'm going to pop my spell surge and spam my assassinates in, and use flame burst whenever it's available. And then I'm probably going to do some quick draws, and then gate if they're casting something to put them in a moment of opportunity state and use either assassinate or another charge shot off to finish him off. So yeah, here we go. Alright guys, here I'm just going to show you some Assassinate and Flame Burst, finishing off some targets, and here, right here in this clip, I'm going to show you a Flash Freeze, Assassinate spam, Spell Surge. I do go for a charge shot, but he Void Slips, and here I chase him into the Void, and as you can see I could chase him in. I do not land any hits because this guy happened to be pretty quick. She's a quick one, yeah, you see there. Now here I'm going to show you a quick... this guy didn't really put up much of a fight. It's basically just showing you some of the damage potential. So there's the Flame Burst, followed by some Assassinates, and a quick draw finishes him off. So yeah guys, thanks for watching, and like it says here, make sure to comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. This is Corvoh with TGN. Have a nice day.